Please welcome District Attorney Eric Gonzalez, President RWDSU Stuart Applebaum, State Senator Monica Martinez, Irene Chu, and Jessica Ramos, New York State Assembly Member Landon Days, Taylor Darling, Jeffrey Dinowitz, Udelka Tapia, Tony Simone, Rebecca Seawright, and George Alvarez. Also, please welcome Councilmember Oswald Feliz, Assemblymember David Weprin, and Assemblymember Michael Novikov. Please welcome Nelson Eusebio, Senator Brad Holman Siegel, Assemblymember Manny De Los Santos, and Senator Jessica Scarcella Spanton. And now, please welcome the 57th governor of this great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
All I can say is we got it done. Congratulations to everyone in this room. I'm so proud of what we accomplished on behalf of the people of the great state of New York. So thank you all for the warm welcome. About a week ago, I stopped at a bodega in Morningside Heights, visited a group of small business owners, people who for a time thought that government didn't care, that they're out there on their own. They were fighting the battles against criminals and people stealing their goods and stealing their dreams and threatening individuals who worked in those stores. They didn't know that there were people who were actually listening to them, the great advocates in this room, the elected leaders, and a governor who gets it. So I want to thank all of them who gathered and let them know that we appreciate them. These are the people who showed up during the pandemic. They fed our essential workers. They never stayed home. They put their lives on the line, and that's why it's so important that we protect them. So I know that there's so many people that care deeply about retail theft. Who would have imagined just a few years ago, when you think about all the crimes that are being committed, we worried about gun violence and shootings and assaults. And yes, we've worked so hard, those numbers are going way down. But then people turned to other criminal enterprises, found ways to abuse the system, take advantage of the laws that were in place. And then we said, no, enough is enough. So when I listen to the challenges they're facing, I need to tell them we worked hard to bring us here today. We do it with all of them in mind. The unseen heroes of our cities and our communities, the supermarkets and the bodega owners and all those who are out there making sure we have everything from diapers and formula to favorite refreshments to chips and popcorn, whatever you like to get. But without them, it just doesn't work. I want to thank our host today, the Dean of the New York Law School, Anthony Crowell. He's been a great friend and ally. I want to thank him for providing this great space. Thank you. We have with us two individuals who I don't think I've seen in a little while. I kind of miss them. Our two leaders. Are they in the room? Andrea Stewart-Cousins and Carl Hastie? Oh, they're not here. Okay, well, I was told they might be sneaking in, but I know they're here in spirit. So I want to make sure that we give them a lot of credit because we did a lot of meals together, a lot of shopping at grocery stores to feed them and keep them happy as we went through morning, noon, and night negotiations. So I want to thank them for all they've done. Also, real champions in our legislature. Senator Jessica Scarcella Spanton, thank you. Stand up and take a bow because this is... And Assemblymember Manny De Los Santos, please stand up. Thank you. And Senator Brad Holman Siegel, please stand up. these are representatives who understand what's going on the streets. And they don't just walk by and say, well, that's a problem, somebody else will deal with it. They bring those issues to us in the legislature, and all the members of the legislature who also were part of this solution. I thank them. I thank them for just helping us find the path to get us here today. Also, our district attorneys are so important to us. There was a lot of involvement with our district attorneys in helping draft the laws because they'll be the ones who enforce them. District Attorney Eric Gonzalez from Brooklyn, please stand. Nelson A. Osavio, the founder and director of Collective Action to Protect Our Stores, CAPS. I want to say it was unfortunate that you even had to form such a group, Nelson, that there was necessity, that you had to take your eye off of the everyday work of managing the workflow, the products coming in, you're making sure the shelves were stocked, and yet you took your time and your talents and you formed this group to be a powerful voice for all those who are affected. And I want to give you a round of applause as well for all you did. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stuart Applebaum, the president of RWDSU, who represents thousands of workers who are finally grateful that we know that their lives matter and have value. So thank you, Stuart, for everything you've done on behalf of the workers. And Melissa O'Connor, the president of the Retail Council, who has been laser focused on this for a long time and has been working us as our plans have evolved and made sure we got here to this great accomplishment. So, and all the supermarkets, the bodega owners, and small business owners who are all part of this collective action. This is what the power of the people looks like. The power of the people represented right here today with this accomplishment, a room full of small business owners. And we know how hard you work. We truly do. You serve your neighbors. You show up in rain and snow and the heat. You never just say, I'm going to stay home today, because there are a lot of people who go without what they need that day. So I'm grateful. And I've met thousands of business owners. And you've told me personally what this retail theft has done to your business and all your hopes. And some of you have had to close. Some of your friends and colleagues have had to shut down and say, we just can't do it anymore. Even some of our larger stores that can pay for all kinds of security. The larger stores that serve communities that don't have access. They can't run out to the suburban mall. This is all they have, is right in their neighborhood. And when those big stores move away as well, the community has nothing. And that's what's so frustrating. So I know how it felt. You felt powerless, hopeless, and under siege. And every time we had those conversations, I left them even more committed to do something about it. So that's why today, our collective 2025 budget has a nation-leading strategy to help police and prosecutors break up sophisticated retail theft things. This is not one person running in and grabbing a candy bar. We know that. These are transnational criminal organizations that are using the internet to be a place for their own marketplace. And how do people there know whether or not it's stolen goods? Well, there's ways to find out. And we're putting responsibility on them to determine that items that are sold on the internet are in fact not illegally stolen. So we're using strategies that work. We know what it's like. We've driven down gun violence, as I said. We have a 5-point plan here. Everything works really well in 5, as I've found out. And so we're going to give peace of mind to the shop owners that you deserve. We're going to give you peace of mind. You're going to be able to wake up and say, you know what, it's going to take a little bit of time. I guarantee you things don't happen overnight. But the police enforcement, they're going to have more laws on their side. Our district attorneys know that they're willing to do it. It's important. So point 1, we're bolstering criminal penalties for anyone who assaults a retail worker. It won't just be a misdemeanor anymore. So you think it's okay to walk in and assault a retail worker? You'll be now charged with a felony. There are serious consequences to this, serious consequences, and that was important to me. And others thought we couldn't get it done, wasn't possible, and yet we did. And again, I congratulate everyone in the legislature and our leaders for helping us get to where we are today. And those who think they can go store after store, just grab enough here, they know the numbers, they know what constitutes a felony and what's a misdemeanor. They'd always just stay below the threshold. Steal from this store and take a stolen car, maybe someone drives into another one. Well, guess what? No one was able to add up the totality of those stolen goods from different places. So we made sure that you could add that up and have that go toward the charges. We're also making it illegal to foster the sale of stolen goods. One would think that would already be on the books, but they can only profit if they can sell the goods they lifted, right? They don't do many goods sitting there in their homes. And lots of third-party sellers fence these stolen items because there's no risk to them. There's no disincentive to do this. This is what they've been doing all this time. They resell them online, as I mentioned. And it's been really hard to track them down and find them until now. We're going to make sure that prosecutors can charge third-party sellers who are profiting off the misery of our stores. We got that done as well. Point 4 is we're investing $40 million to establish dedicated retail theft teams within the state police, DA's offices, and local law enforcement, so they have the resources they need. I know they're busy. A lot of other things they're working on. So you can't tell me you don't have enough money because they're putting $40 million to help you, to make sure that this is not a burden for you, that you can make sure that we are enforcing these laws because this community is expecting it. You know, these dedicated task forces make a difference. You don't think about it, but we can have the sharing of data and intelligence among federal, state, and local entities, not just here in New York, but across state lines. This is how big this is. Then we can really make a difference and shut them down and know what they're trying to do here in New York, it's not going to work anymore. Go somewhere else. The doors are closed. They're locked. And so this will help prosecutors and police with this intelligence gathering, infiltrate criminal networks, and cut through the red tape that often creates a barrier. When someone's stealing in one borough and then goes to another, and that information is not being shared, then it's hard. Mr. District Attorney, this is going to help you out. It's going to help you collaborate with the other DAs in a way that's really important to us. So we'll have teams of troopers and investigators and analysts, 100 new state police positions, and the first joint retail operation ever. We got it all done. Also, point 5, a $5 million tax credit. So small business owners can help offset the cost of new security measures until this gets under control, like cameras. I know it's expensive. My mom had a little flower shop. You've heard me tell the story. She didn't know a darn thing about retail, but she wanted to have a little shop in our community at a time when every other business had gone out of business, signs in front of them. And she wanted to help bring some hope back to our small town that was under siege after thousands of jobs left. So she started this little shop, and I'd sit there on Sundays and be the little sales clerk. Little bell rings, and you sit there praying that someone will buy something, but you're also praying that you won't be hurt because you're alone and you're exposed. There is a vulnerability for our workers, and we can have cameras, and criminals know that they're being watched because you now have the money to get that done. That is also a great deterrent. So I know how hard it is to run these businesses. I know you put your heart and soul into them. We live that personally, and I want to make it easier on all of you. So this will help our small businesses, help them fight back. And again, this sweeping agenda, there's a lot of information here, but it's going to work. It's going to work if we're all committed, being the eyes and ears as well, working together, sharing information. You're a store owner that was just robbed. You know they're going down the street. You may have overheard something. Let's look out for each other. That's what we do as New York. Let's look out for each other, and we can shut them down. It's long overdue, but the day has arrived. And I have this one message for all these brazen thieves who think they can terrorize our neighborhoods and make you feel insecure where you work there, or whether you're a customer or the owner. Your days are numbered. We're coming after you, and it's just not worth it. So with that, I'm really proud to continue all of our efforts with law enforcement, fighting domestic violence, more money for grants to strengthen security against hate crimes, all the vulnerable locations because of all the rise in hate crimes, and making sure that our prosecutors have the tools they need. So that's what we're focused on, but today is all about the small businesses and the retail businesses who've been under siege, and today we're expecting that siege to be won by all the hardworking, law-abiding citizens represented in this room. So with that, let me invite up Senator Jessica Garcella Spanton for her words, and also to give a chance to thank her once again for all her great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Governor Hochul, for that introduction and for taking on the mantle, especially of protecting our retail workers. To share a story, back in 2022, when I was running for this seat, I walked into my local deli. I think everybody here has a deli where they go to, where they get their coffee, they have their bagel, and they become like a second family to you. I always joke they see you at your worst, they see you at your best. One morning I walked in, and the gentleman who works behind the counter had a black eye. And I had asked him what happened, and he told me that there was a robbery the night before, and he was assaulted. And I made a promise to him that if I was elected, this is something that I would get done. Fast forward a couple of months later, we won. We met with the CAPS Coalition, who brought this to our attention that this is a major, major issue. And my colleague and I, Assemblymember Manny De Los Santos, worked tirelessly to make sure that this got the support that it needs and it deserves. During the pandemic, these workers, our retail workers, were the backbone of our community. They were deemed as essential workers, and this legislation is historic because it shows and it proves that we put a value on their lives, the same way that we did for bus drivers or police officers or firefighters. This new class of a crime will really protect them and really gives them the peace of mind that they deserve. It's a major, major step forward for public safety. I'm so proud. Thank you for including our legislation in the budget and making sure that it got done and working tirelessly on it. Thank you for your advocacy to CAPS, and I'm very, very honored to be here today. Thank you. Oh. And with that, I'm going to be bringing up my colleague, Assemblymember Manny De Los Santos.
Good afternoon. Nothing is impossible. Today, we're confirming that might look impossible is actually possible. We're going to historical times. This piece of legislation is one of them. Our greatest strength is the ability to work together to find solutions to everyday New Yorkers. Common solutions, common legislations. No one who works hard, who's trying to accomplish the American dreams, should get hurt on the workplace. No one. The person has a husband, a wife, has their kids. They deserve to have a safety return home. Basic principle. It's part of the American dream. The bill was not asking for anything complicated, anything impossible. It is about respect. It is about dignity. It is about those that were in front of the line during COVID when it was hard to be there deserve to be respected, deserve to be protected. They have families. We, as legislators, have to give them the dignity and the respect that they deserved. They should be also considered essential workers. Yes, they should. I could not have asked for a better champion in the State Center than my friend, Jessica Scampton. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your hard work, for your commitment to making this bill a reality. I'm fortunate to work and serve along the side a governor who has an invested interest in protecting our workers, in protecting our retail workers, in protecting our small businesses, our mom and pop's businesses, the one who oftentimes get neglected. When it's hard to listen, the governor was there. When it was hard to stand, she was there. When it was hard to fight for the small little guy, she stood with us. She was there. I might get in trouble for saying this, but we're here today because of her. So please give her a well round of applause. Governor, I am proud to call you my governor. I am proud to have you stand consistently throughout the budget season, remember we'll touch base, and you'll say to me, Manny, we're going to get it done. It makes it so much easier to work with a governor that has common sense, that is there for the people. So today's victory is not just about the historic piece of legislation. Today's victory is about everyday New Yorkers. It's about hardworking class throughout New York State. It's about those children who deserve to have their parents have a safety return home. It's about the mom, the father, the husband, the wife that wakes up every morning and hope for a better New York, for a better state. So today, I want to commend you, Governor, for being the real champion in this fight. I also want to thank my speaker, Carl Hastie, for his leadership. I want to thank my colleague in the Assembly, and of course, my dear friend, Senator Scarcella-Scampton, not only for having the vision, this leadership, as I said before, but for believing in this, for actually believing in this piece of legislation. When it was hard, you stood there, just like the governor stood there every single step of the way. So today I say, let's continue to work together. Let's continue to not just work together, but work together towards a better New York State and safer community. Thank you. And now I'm glad to honor Senator Brad Hoylman to the stage.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember. I'm State Senator Brad Hoylman Siegel. I represent the 47th District of Manhattan, which runs from Christopher Street up to West 103rd. And Governor, so honored to be here with you today. And congratulations on a terrific budget. You really deserve that commendation. So thank you for that. The issue that I've been working on with Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, also from the West Side, concerns shoplifting and organized retail theft, particularly as it's pertained to online. It's not just larceny that you can see has increased, but it's the selling of stolen goods online, also known as e-fencing. E-fencing has increased by nearly 60% since 2015, costing retailers an average of over $700,000 per $1 billion in sales. And it's estimated that criminal enterprises are selling over 500 billion with a B, in stolen or counterfeit products throughout the nation through online marketplaces like Amazon, Craigslist, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and other sites. In fact, one law enforcement official has said that Amazon, quote, may be the largest unregulated pawn shop on the face of the planet. This $500 billion of stolen or counterfeit products accounts to up to 10% of the total e-commerce market. And rather than being one-off thieves, as the governor said, these are organized criminal enterprises, largely to blame. And this hurts our local retail businesses, from the big box stores to the luxury retailers to the small businesses. And it also hurts the legitimate online sellers they're competing with. Even stolen toys are ending up online. One criminal enterprise was responsible for stealing over $300,000 worth of Lego toys to sell online. That one really upset my 6-year-old when I told her about it. And while penalties previously existed for possessing stolen goods, until now there was no specific law that targeted e-fencing, because there's a loophole, as the district attorney can tell you, that requires actual possession of the stolen item. That's why I'm very proud to say that we worked with the governor's office, Manhattan District Attorney Bragg, who's a little busy right now, to ensure that our budget made it such that for the first time in New York State, it will be a criminal offense to foster the sale of stolen goods on the internet, making it a Class A misdemeanor. With this legislation, I hope we've provided our DAs with another tool to tackle retail theft and hold those who are selling stolen products online accountable for their actions. So again, Governor, I'm extremely grateful to you for including this in the budget, for gathering us here today. I also want to thank Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins for her leadership, Manhattan District Attorney Bragg for his leadership, along with Assembly Member Linda Rosenthal. My Senate colleagues who are here, Senators Ramos, Chu, Webb, Martinez, and of course, Senator Scarcella Spanton. And a shout out to labor and our great leader of RWDSU, Stuart Applebaum. Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to introduce as our next speaker, Nelson Usabeyu, the founder and director of Collective Action to Protect Our Stores, CAPS, which was so instrumental in the passage of these bills.
Good afternoon. And let me tell you, it's a wonderful good afternoon, especially if you're in the retail business in the city of New York. We're very happy and excited to be here. I'm excited to be here today to celebrate the passage of the retail theft package, which is going to have a meaningful change for communities, especially communities of color. Governor Hochul, thank you for being our champion and getting these bills over the finish line. We are grateful for your leadership. Thank you, Governor. My name is Nelson Eusebio. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the National Supermarket Association, the NSA, and spokesperson for the Collective Action to Protect Our Stores Coalition. Together, CAPS represents over 20,000 small and locally owned businesses that have been deeply impacted by organized retail theft. I commend these small businesses for coming together with a unified voice. I am proud to see all that NSA and CAPS have been able to accomplish. To our supporters in the state legislature, Assembly Member, my brother, Manny de los Santos, thank you. Senator Jessica Scarcella Stanton, you've been there from the very beginning. Thank you so much. Senator Brad Holyman, thank you. Senator Thomas, Assembly Member Dinelwitz, thank you for hearing and considering us. All the district attorney, our good friend District Attorney Eric Gonzalez, thank you so much, sir. Also, Assembly Member George Alvarez. Today, we have a safer community thanks to you. Again, thank you, Governor Hochul, for being a fearless leader, for your ongoing support. It's an honor to be here today with you. It really is. I'd like to recognize the president of the National Supermarket Association, Mr. Samuel Collado. Sammy Collado. CAPS has many supporters and funders, and Sulema Weskovich, CEO of Associated Foods. Thank you, Sulema, for being here today. And from the Food Time Group, Mr. John Dreden. Thank you, John. Where are you, John? Thank you very much. So I honestly can say, Governor, from today on, supermarket owners and the bodega owners are going to have a better life, and they're going to get back to doing what they're supposed to do, taking care of the community that they serve. And we all owe it to you. Thank you. A round of applause for the governor. Now, I'm not leaving here today until somebody told me we're signing the bill today. So let's get this bill signed. All right.
Please remain seated while we sign the bill.
music.